So last time, you guys posted up and had proceeded to head into the hold of the Deep King after hearing the chime of opening used by Indigo to get into the vault of the Deep King. Indigo, you opened it to find a huge slew of treasure, gems, arms, armaments, and the oh-so-coveted obsidian dragon egg sitting at the far end of it, to which you were then attacked by a weird bell mechanic-like creature. And as you were or not really fighting your way, but making your way through the vault, you eventually summoned the Blue Man group. And I don't know if I can keep saying that name without incurring some kind of penalty eventually.
But we're not selling this. It's fine.
Yeah, not yet. And as you finally got the egg and you were trying to figure out a means of escape, you see Lara, King Horgar, and a couple of guards making their way, I think it was Billy and Joel, into the vault to come after you when you hit a lever. And as you did, and your horse-like feet came to rest, you found yourself in free fall. However, we find ourselves back with Stool, Scylla, Sephel, and Sue, as you guys have entered into a dark corridor, unlit.
Minus Stool, right? Because Stool didn't.
Stool is outside. That's right. He did not fit. You can hear voices echoing down this long hallway. However, even with your superior dark vision, you don't necessarily see an opening in sight. I'm assuming you all proceed forward unless you say otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just charging in.
Yeah, who's leading this charge, actually?
I think Scylla is, because, if we need it, the backstory is that she's leading Sephel the Mind Flayer as a prisoner or something.
Yeah.
We're not sure if we're going to need to do that, but I think she'd be in front.
Yeah,
okay.
I think the strategic formation that they always kind of go by is Scylla is in front, and then Sephel is sandwiched between Scylla and Sue.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So you guys start moving down this hallway, and eventually, I think Sephel has the 120-foot dark vision. Either way, doesn't totally matter, but eventually you do see an opening, and as you do, you find yourselves peeking through an open secret doorway into the lower chambers of the hold that we had seen through Indigo's eyes a couple episodes ago, which was the various falls of lava filling these channels into this labyrinthine kind of lower floor here. You see that there are numerous sets of guards running towards what looks like a type of elevator, which you see quickly close over a set of 10 different guards, and they start moving upwards. You see some escaping into various other kind of open passageways. You see a few others slip behind some columns, no longer to kind of reappear. It seems kind of like anarchy. And for those of you that are able to pick up Undercommon and Dwarvish, you overhear that someone has broken into the vault, and essentially a general alarm has been sounded. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah. I'm going... So, first of all... Nope, we decided that invisibility wasn't worthwhile. So I guess is there only one of those elevators that we saw close?
Yes.
Okay. Do we head upstairs? Do we go somewhere else? What is our play?
Well, I would say that the guards, if they are alerted to the vault and an intruder, well, that might take us directly to Indigo. We follow a guard.
Okay. That's where we could take one hostage and force him to show us where it is, because we don't know, per se, if all of them are hidden to the vault, do we?
Oh, that is quite creative.
And there's nothing saying that when we get there we won't be slaughtered. I kind of like the hostage play.
Agreed.
Silla, I'll go get one's attention, run him back in here, and you bash him in the face, try to knock him down. Does that sound good?
Of course, we've done this many times. I will be standing here.
She like high fives you on the way out and just like sprints out, and she's like, "Hey, fuckers, come here!
You've done this multiple
you
times.
little bastard! Come here. Oh no, he's coming! And she just like waits. She's like, "Oh, cut, and then she dives in low as the guard whips around. Go ahead and make an attack roll there, Scylla.
Hell yeah. That is a 21 to hit.
Absolutely, you hit. Go ahead and roll damage for me.
Yeah, can I consider this two-handed?
Yes, absolutely.
Just clothesline him through the door.
Heck yeah. That is that is 10 points of damage. But technically I get 2 attacks if I would need another.
Now I'm going to have you do a strength check with the assistance of Sue. So add advantage to, now that you have hit this guy in the face, to see if you can get him pinned down on the ground.
Oh, hell yeah. Athletics?
Yep.
Yeah, I rolled 2 17s plus 7 is 24.
Okay, absolutely.
Damn.
You guys get him down, you strip him of his sword and shield, and like, I imagine Sue has kind of like, underneath him has her crossbow placed across his neck and is like holding him down while you guys are up above, and she's like, all right, who's doing the asking?
Sephel, are you confident in this?
I can certainly ask him something. I don't know if he'll be persuaded to answer.
I just picture Sephel like slowly pulling off the pillowcase and letting the tentacle and like fully leaning into the intimidation.
Yeah.
Tell me where your leader is.
It's like, yeah, I definitely, I mean, the play is if this doesn't work, the Mind Flayer is a hostage anyway. So yeah, any chance to get the pillowcase off, he's definitely taking. Okay. So I think he does get like, he's kind of like slithers up, pulls the thing backwards. Now listen very carefully. Looks at,
starts like screeching.
Looks over at
chokes
Sue.
him a little bit more.
Like looks at Sue because he doesn't fucking know how to intimidate a person. Fuck stick. We need to know.
Nice.
Take us to the vault, please.
All right. I'm sorry. I'll take you to the vault. Just don't touch me with your tentacles.
I reach one tentacle forward and I gently, awkwardly caress his cheek.
He literally vomits. He can't handle. Just...
Oh no.
Sue, I think you've got him from here.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yes, I do. And I have a little bit of throw up on me. Thank you for that.
I'll prestidigitation her boots.
Wonderful. She pulls him up. She has one hand on him, crossbow kind of pointed into the back. And he starts leading you guys out, and he goes, just so you know, there might be some other people out and about. You could be caught. Just I'll try my best, but don't touch me with those things anymore, please. And go ahead.
We might be caught, you said, but you'll be able to direct us still.
I'll do my best. Yes.
And should anything impede us, you would be able to speak on our behalf, would you not? And I tickle the back of his neck with a couple tentacles.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, this way. And he starts dragging you guys along. Our listeners know, and you guys know because you've been paying attention, he doesn't lead you towards the elevator, and instead he leads you to another kind of hidden doorway that he taps on in a series of spots, and eventually it just comes out and then opens up to the left, kind of like a regular door would. And he goes, we got to go down this way. And he starts leading you into this dark corridor. And you all start to notice that there's a slight feeling of descending and going lower. And after about a minute or two, things get colder and colder, and you keep getting deeper and deeper. And then eventually you take like a turn, and you take another turn, and it feels like you are rapidly descending farther into the underdark here.
So guards were taking elevators and running upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get the feeling that he's actually leading us where we're supposed to be going, or does it seem like this is a ruse?
You can ask him, or you can do an insight. Yeah.
I will roll insight.
Same.
Okay.
6.
22.
That's
okay.
better.
Sephel, you have no read on him.
I trust him implicitly.
While this guy seems genuinely afraid of you, he is leading you. He seems, I imagine there's kind of a moment where, like, you and Sue pin him against the wall, and you're like, where are you taking us? Like, why are all the other guards going up? And he goes, Deep King Horgard has a small vault up above where the break-in happened, but the main vault is down below.
Oh shit!
And that's where we cut to Indigo. Indigo, I imagine, like, there's anytime you wild shape, there's almost like probably a certain amount of the animalistic instincts that kind of kick in. And I imagine, like, your horse eyes go wide, and this intense fear kind of overwhelms you for a moment, and you go into a panic as you see all the gold. You see the Bell Warforged assassins start to fall. You see the Blue Man group begin to fall. You see Billy and Joel start to fall, and you see the Deep King and Lara starting to just about to reach the vault entrance as you all just plummet into darkness. You yourself have dark vision, but as the horse, do you retain that?
Sure,
I would
don't.
assume you don't?
Nope.
Okay. So you see nothing. You just hear coins and jewels and bits and pieces hitting each other, this clink and clanking. You hear nothing coming from the other people following from you as Billy and Joel initially yelled, but then that noise is kind of like cut off. And I imagine this is in like bullet time. Just moment for moment as this, you hear the whistle of air just going right by you. And it's probably been about 5-6 seconds, and you're still falling. And you have definitely hit terminal velocity. You are flying so quickly. And then you feel like the weirdest sensation touch your mind. And you know something has touched your mind because it's similar in the sense of when Stool has reached out to you. But this seems broader, more intelligent, and it says, "Why fall?" And it's in your mind.
Gravity demands it?
Danger?
Yes. Long way. Won't feel great.
Die?
Hopefully not, but probable.
Stop us? Can you?
Don't think I can.
And then you feel that presence leave. That kind of connection for a moment. And that's when your horse eyes, can actually pick up far below you. You see this kind of like yellowish golden aura. And as you continue to fall, you make out very quickly what this is. It is an absolutely colossal cavern filled with innumerable amounts of gold, gems, and various made items, swords and armors and different things like that. And in the midst of it all, you see one massive, absolutely massive, block of some type, a huge cube, and you are descending right towards it. And as the glow and the lights coming off of this giant horde come more into view, you see all the gold about you is soon to impact. You see Billy and Joel, you see the Blue Man group, you see that assassin, and then the voices start to come back in, just and right before you hit that giant steel cube, just you stop inches away from the ground, and then you hit with a thud. You're going to take a little bit of damage, but not nearly as much as you thought. You're going to take 22 points of bludgeoning damage from this fall.
Well, I ain't a horse no more, but I'm still up.
You're still up.
Damn.
The cries and the screams are no longer heard. You look about you. You have no idea the size of this area about you. You think that you are almost within the dead center top of this cube, which feels extremely warm, almost hot, like verging on scalding beneath you. And you think it is probably about 200 feet by 200 feet across. And it seemed, when you were falling, like this was small compared to the expanse here. What do you do?
Do I see any of the people who fell with me? Have they landed as well?
Make a perception check.
Absolutely.
You see a series of puddles.
10.
10. You see the crushed and deformed form of the Warforged, the little bell toll like assassin, near one of the edges. You don't see any of the Blue Man group or the two guards that had fallen with you, but you do see smatterings of the bits of gold that had fallen with you and some of the gemstones atop this giant cube as well. And you feel this slight vibration underneath your feet from this cube. And it seems to grow a little bit steadier, but then your feet, as you kind of pick yourself up, you can feel it through your shoes. It just starts to get hotter and hotter, and it's verging on the unbearable. And you can see the coins and the gems nearest you are starting to vibrate and actually begin to glow a little bit, like with heat. What do you do?
I'm gonna start looking for an exit. Is there an exit to this vault?
Rolling over your perception check, unless you want to do an investigation check, you don't see anything at the moment. No.
Okay, then I'm just gonna start making my way towards the edge of this big steel box.
Okay.
I feel like Indigo like start walking, and then like the box itself is what seems to be emanating the heat, right?
Yes.
Hey, Timbershad, are you in there? Are you inside the box?
That vibration had kind of quieted for a moment, but it seems to get stronger.
Oh, hey, kind of like. This might kind of hurt. I'm just gonna like do like a quick like tap 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 on the metal.
There's a pause, and then you just feel this deep resonating of something pounding against the interior.
Oh man, that sucks, dude. I am so sorry. I will go start looking for like some sort of clever mechanism that opens this up. All right, how about that? All right, yeah, you stay cool down there. Oh shit, and I'm gonna start hustling.
Okay.
Towards the edge.
When you come to the edge, you see that it is, except for like the kind of mounds of gold all about, it's almost a 50-foot drop down to the bottom of this cube. It's quite large. And so you can jump down to one of the kind of higher mounds of gold, or you could try to climb down. And you see along the sides here that there are numerous grooves and lines and circles all about it.
Okay, so it's not just like a sheer box. There's some handholds available.
Yeah, you could climb down.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna attempt to climb down then.
Okay, make an athletics check.
If only I hadn't blown all my mimicry charges, I could be a climbing speed kind of animal, but
Alas, you had no idea.
Athletics will be a 15.
Okay. Yeah, it takes you a minute or two, but eventually you come down, and part of what aids you in your swiftness are these large loops and lines that like you get a handhold on, and you start kind of shimmy your way down, and then it's everything it takes to keep yourself gripping to it, but you slide and you kind of eventually fall your way down in this kind of contained way. And as you back away a little bit, you see entirely upon this side are all sorts of interlocking and weaving shapes, lines, concentric circles. It's very odd. But you can also see that from where you had last kind of slid off, those darker spots where the lines were have begun to glow a little bit. And after a moment or two, begin to kind of like fade into darkness.
Interesting. And do I think that's something that I caused, or that's something coming from inside the books?
You don't know at the moment.
Hard saying, not knowing. That I'm gonna like climb the nearest gold pile that I can find, and see if I can get like a look around. First of all, is there anything besides just like gold and gems down here? Is there anything, I don't know, more interesting than that?
You, out of the closest things nearest to you, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Absolutely. So a natural 1 plus 0 is a 1, I believe.
Yeah, you mostly just see gold and gems right now.
I mean, I'll take some golden gems. Just a couple handfuls. Just enough time.
Yeah, you just like throwing it into the bag of holding.
Yep,
as much as you can.
Yeah, just take a little something off the top.
Okay. Yeah, you stuff quite a bit in there. We will calculate that up when you have a chance to count it. You hear more and feel more of those vibrations emanating from the cube. And your passive perception is 17. You also hear something from far, far up above.
Don't love that one. I'm gonna turn back towards that corner that I saw glow a bit. I'm gonna like raise a hand and put it on the side of my throat, and I'm gonna use thaumaturgy to make my voice much louder. Hey, Thumbershot, if you can hear me over on this corner here, it might be a little thinner, or there's something going on. I can't really tell. Maybe you can like scrap at it a little bit. Let me get out of the way, actually, and I'll scamper off to like a hill that seems out of the way of a possible draconic fireburst.
Okay. Seconds later, you just feel this immense pressure and as something has been hit from the inside. And then you see that corner begin to start glowing, but then seemingly stop. And not in the glowing in the same way that you had sensed when those lines had seemed like a green. This is like flame, a torch or something has been put to the metal and it started to glow red and orange.
All right, I'm gonna slide back down.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get up to this crease, this kind of line here, and I want to just like take my trace it with my fingers and see if that has any sort of effect.
The inside starts to glow greenish.
I'm gonna pump a little bit of magic in there. I'm just gonna hit it with like a little sacred flame as I'm tracing up and down.
Okay. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Ooh. That's 6.
Okay. Roll damage against yourself as you expend it and it immediately comes back at you.
Love that.
Cool. Just a cheeky 2 radiant. Just cheeky.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. Wait. We're level 5. That's 10 points of radiant damage.
Oh.
Roll good on that next one.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Thundershot, it appears the box is magical. I repeat, the box is magical.
That's when you start to hear scratching resonating from deep inside.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty described. Yeah, I agree. I agree. So how long you been in here? Like a day or so? Does it suck in there?
More of the deep vibrations.
Yeah, I feel that. So listen, they're probably gonna be coming after me kind of soon. So I'm gonna skedaddle. Unless is there a passport or something here? I'm gonna give it another poke just to see what that green light do.
Where your finger touches, it begins to glow. However, I want you to either roll or Arcana or Insight. I'll let you choose.
I would certainly choose Insight then.
Okay.
And I'm rewarded. That's a 26.
Okay. As you stare at this, something about it makes you step backwards and get kind of another viewpoint of it. And you kind of run back to the corner edge and you look at the other side of the cube to which there is nothing. And you run all the way back across and you look at the other side, there's nothing. So you presume that this side is the only one that has any of these weird markings on it. And as you are looking at it, you see that some of these lines, if arranged in a certain way, could make a symbol of some type.
Ooh.
What languages do you speak again?
Common, Elvish, and Goblin.
Okay. You feel like you recognize it, and it takes you a moment before you realize that if you were to perhaps move a couple of pieces and trace the lines, you could make a giant rune. And I forget already what the specific one was. It's on one of my farther pages back, but it is a giant rune for hold. So you think if you were to push some of these pieces and kind of mix them back together to make that rune and then outline it, you might be able to open this.
Up.
Gonna get back on the thaumaturgy.
Yeah. Hey, Thundershot, I got an idea. I might be able to open this, but can you just ixnay on the fire say for a hot sec here? I'm just please do not crispify me. Alright?
And there's nothing in response. It's quiet.
Cool. Yeah. I'm gonna crack my little crimson fingers and I'm gonna give this bad boy a try.
Okay.
See if I can
You
figure the rune.
begin pushing on these pieces, and so I'm going to need you to make a strength check.
Right. If only I was
I love
still a
it.
horse.
I love that you chose the moment of like, don't blast any fire at me to speak to him in Pig Latin. Just make it a little harder to be understood.
Yeah. That's a natural 20 plus 1, 21.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you start, like, as you're getting a better feel for this, you realize some are moving in circular patterns, some are moving and sliding and slipping around each other in ways that you wouldn't think, some are even rotating. And as you're doing this, Sephel, Scylla, Sue, and this guard, you all reach this ending of a corridor. And you now stand before these large stone doors, very large. And you realize that where you have emerged to connects to a much larger hall, probably 75 feet tall, which these doors match that same height, and about 50 feet across. And it follows a similar path that you had, kind of making this winding pathway that goes up. And you can see it going all the way up till this dull orange glow appears up at the top, and to which the guard kind of turns around and is like, that's the main way up. This was just perhaps the closest and most unseen pathway here. But the vault is through these doors. I think I have a key. One moment. And he starts, like, searching through a ring of keys, and he's like, oh, so sorry. Right, I think this is the one. And he goes to a small section of one of the doors and does a couple of taps, and a small keyhole appears, to which he inserts the key, twists, and pulls it back. And that goldish, bright glow, like, splashes on all of your faces as you are greeted with this huge cavern before you, filled with all sorts of treasures. And as you all enter in, you see a small figure, probably a couple 100 feet away, kind of like dancing and moving about in front of this very large cube.
Thank you very much, my friend. Your services have been very useful. Scylla, Sue, why don't you go investigate? I need to have a final word with our friend.
Scylla, you go ahead. I'll take care of him. And she just, like, immediately punches the dude and starts pummeling him till he's unconscious.
That is one way to do it.
Of course. And I will start, like, a light jog, keeping an eye on this jumping figure.
Yeah, as you start moving forward, you do recognize it as Indigo.
Oh, Indigo! Indigo!
Oh, hey! Watch out!
What? And I'm still jogging toward Indigo for sure. But
Yeah,
I'll turn back around and also give a thumbs up to Sephel. And
Okay.
Sephel would not be paying attention because the only reason that he wanted to stay behind was to give this guard a quick chomp.
Oh. Oh, okay.
And not such a boy.
Crazy.
Well, after knocking out the guards, Sue would have gone, so
Mhm.
chomp away.
Yeah, so he's going to watch Scylla and Sue sort of run into the room. And while most of the strategy here is sort of a take no prisoners type vibe,
Okay.
he definitely thinks there's some good info that could come from this guy as a secondary benefit. So he's gonna do some chop.
Okay. All right. Sometimes I regret giving this cool thing for you. Other times, though, it's a lot of fun.
Which one is it right now?
It's a mixture.
Am I seeing? Because I would have turned around to give the thumbs up. I see Sue running toward me, and I see Sephel like arc over the body.
I imagine you just see like Sephel dip back out the door, Like, Sue didn't necessarily leave the guy in the treasure room with you. So you would have seen, like, his receding form go back as
Okay.
you were on your way to Indigo. Sephel, the first kind of tidbits that come to you as you dive into this man's brain is you see flashes of friends and drinks being had and merriment, and you then see a horrible scene of a finely dressed grey dwarven figure who you recognize as the Deep King from your brief moment of seeing him, as he is in presumably his throne room. And you have this sense of being the grey dwarf that you are consuming, that you are currently invisible, along with the 11 other guards currently on duty to watch over the king. And as he beats and kills about 24 dwarves and Darrow in just this horrifying spree. And you see that feminine form of the gray dwarf that was that we recognized before as Shawl, and that name kind of like appears in your mind, that she is lounging once again kind of on the arm of the throne, and eventually she kind of like calls and beckons to your king, and he turns around and he's soaked in blood, and he walks up to her, and they start kind of like whispering to each other. And from the shadows, you see Lara appear, and they kind of stand there, and after a couple of minutes, they finally come forward in this kind of like hushed tone with their head bowed in kind of subservience, and some words are exchanged. But while you can understand the Deep King, when you hear Lara speak, there's almost like this weird, muffled, deep double timbre. And it makes it very, very hard to understand anything that could be said. And finally, Lara turns and leaves. And as you kind of start to move around the throne room, knowing that there's no specific place where you have to stand, it's mostly that you must have eyes on the king, curiosity gets the better of you. Nobody else can see you, not even your fellow guard. And so you get closer to the throne, and as you do, you hear that same type of deep double timbre coming from Shawl as well. But you can hear the Deep King, and he's just kind of muttering sweet nothings to her. And while this dual voice from Shawl seems soothing, the double tone of it is sinister. And then you're kind of pulled back abruptly from that, because Shawl picks her head up and looks directly where you are. And you're like, there's no way they should see me. I'm invisible. And then you're kind of shunted back into this present, and you know that you were part of the detail that helped imprison Femmershoud within the giant steel and mithril cube within the vault. You know that the main doors cannot be opened to this vault without the Deep King's personal key. So even if Femmershoud were to necessarily escape from his prison, he could not leave the confines of the vault unless he were to fly upwards and somehow achieve one of the other openings, which is almost impossible. You also learn the enlarge/reduce spell.
Holy shit.
You all of a sudden feel this innate sense that your body just knows how to do it.
Ooh.
And that is what you have.
Okay, so quick clarification.
Yes.
So on the Femmershoud can't get out except main gate. Main gate needs Deep King's personal key.
Mhm.
Is that including, meaning he could not fit out of the doors that the S crew just came in through.
So the door that you came in through was a very small door out of the two much more massive ones. So the
Got
huge
you.
doors are not open. Those are the ones that need the Deep King's personal
Gotcha.
key to get through. The one that you guys came through is big enough for a dwarf to get through.
Mhm.
So,
we would
like,
need
you guys
the
might be
King's
stooping a
personal
little bit.
key, or Thembershoud would have to fly up, presumably out of the hatch that Indigo opened that we don't know about.
Yes.
Interesting.
As you pull out of that, Scylla and Sue, you are getting very close to where Indigo is. In Indigo, you have like one more piece to push, you feel, before this rune is in place. And like, as you've been doing, you've been going through the darker outlines, and you can see they've been lighting it up, and as each piece connects, it's been holding that same glow. However, you feel a very small tremor, and this like faint whistling, just and then silence, and then you hear this metallic clank, ka-ching, 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 and it seems to get louder as it seems something is moving on top of the cube, headed in your direction.
Crap. I know that cadence.
I'm gonna try as hard as I can to get that last piece out, because I do not want any piece of what's coming my way.
Okay, make another strength check.
Come on.
It's moving very, very slowly, and you hear those footfalls stop, and you instinctively look upwards, and you see that it's the Deep King, and he's
I was
peering
afraid you were
down
gonna say
over
that.
you, and he goes, "Oh, Indigo, why have you done such a thing to me?"
Well, sir, honestly, I didn't really mean to. It just kind of happened.
What just happened, did it now? That's odd, because you're coming to my home, offering me information. And while I thought some of it might be a lie, I didn't think you'd turn on me so quickly.
But it was a clever ruse. That is true. But you know, it's oh man, I feel like I'm kind of screwed here, huh, guys? Oh hey.
It is certainly something of the sort. And he starts walking, but it's like he's descending downstairs, but he's not walking on anything, it's just air. And as he's doing so, he's walking towards you. What do you do? And this last piece of the rune is one of the rotating pieces, and it's just taking so long to get there.
I am gonna keep at it, because he is faster than he looks. But what's in that box has a chance here, so I'm gonna put all my effort to keep pushing it.
So as the Deep King's descending these air-like steps, you continue to push. Ooh, this is a great image. And I picture Scylla and Sue just still running forward. You're probably about 150 feet away as you saw the Deep King fall like a rocket, just and then stop right above the cube and just start making his way forward. Can you, Scylla, roll me a perception check?
Oh, but of course.
I'm gonna have Sue do one as well here. Okay.
12.
Okay, 12. Sue, like, picks up speed a little bit and, like, taps your arm. She's like, someone else is here too. Someone else is here too. Look. And you
Where?
see, still above the cube, there seems like this pocket of darkness that had also just seemingly plummeted out of nowhere and just seems to kind of be like sitting there atop in the center. Not proceeding forward from what you can tell of your current viewpoint. And the reason you can see this is as you are proceeding forward, everything kind of slopes down in this chamber towards the cube, kind of like a whirlpool would, you know what I mean? But it's not. It just slopes in that general direction.
Okay.
And so we see Sephel now starting to kind of like come in through the doorway. And Sephel, you are starting to kind of see this scene, albeit you are much farther away, but you can see a figure kind of floating down through the air towards what you presume must be Indigo. And you can see Scylla and Sue running, and then this weird kind of little shroud up atop the cube. But we kind of zip back to Indigo as the Deep King comes down and goes, "Oh, my poor little friend. I could have shown you so much. If you had wanted to see the vault, I could have brought you here myself. The wonders that you and Sister Riol could have found for me. There's a lot of history here in the Underdark. And I, for one, vastly wanted to explore it. I wanted to expand both my reaches and the knowledges of my predecessors. But this is something else. You have betrayed me, Indigo, and I cannot stand for that. Do you have anything to say before I crush your skull?"
How close am I to turning this thing?
You are, like, right about there.
Perfect. Then I'm gonna just, like, keep straining and turn to him, like,
Well, you don't have to apologize to me, but you might want to apologize to him.
and then I'm gonna click that last rune into place.
Yes.
And you, like, throw your hand up the line, and it glows, and we just hear this as gears start to whir within, and the Deep King, his head snaps to the left, and he glows back at you, and he's just, and he starts rushing towards you, like, full-blown flying at you. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Ooh.
12.
Okay, you get slammed by the Deep King, and you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage, and you go flying off of the cube.
No!
And you land upon the ground, and then we see the Deep King just, like, halt in the air and, like, pivot towards you. And then we see this shadowy cloud, and Scylla and Sue, you are now caught up. You are there with Indigo as they slam into the ground. And this kind of, like, walking, moving shadow disappears, and it reveals Lara. And that shadow coalesces into that long sword that they carried before, that wavy pattern that Indigo, you had seen them carrying before they had entered the vault. And their eyes are just black. And they step off, flow down, and Lara just starts proceeding towards you as the Deep King snaps his head towards them and is like, "No, they are for me. Distract them or shout." And Lara doesn't even pay him any attention. She just starts walking, and it seems like she's starting to pick up speed, bearing down towards you all. And then the doors just rip open, and it's just a sea of flame. I need you, Scylla, and you, Indigo, to once again make dexterity saving throws. I'm gonna roll for Sue too, as this huge like wave of flame comes forth.
I said no fire!
I got a nat 20.
Nat 20. Okay, you're good.
Dang. Natural 19 for a total 21.
Okay, you are good. Sue also saved, so you all managed to like kind of duck down and cover each other as the flames roll over you, and we hear this deep yell from the king. You would assume he got caught up into it. And Sephel, from your viewpoint, are you moving down, trying to get closer to everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Or no?
No, as soon as I got back through the doorway and took my like customary 5 seconds to reground in my own brain, I've been like keel hauling it towards that cube.
Okay, let's roll for initiative.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
All right, we're going to be doing a little bit more theater of the mind because the map I tried to create was far too friggin' big. So, this is what happens after this initial spout of flame. As the flames come up and you, Scylla, Indigo, and Sue are all prone currently, as the flame comes up, you see the Deep King patting out as quickly as he can some flames as he stands right before Themershoud. We see Lara as the flames like lick up the back of their cloak, and she just kind of like pulls it, these two clasps off her shoulders, and just like wraps it up and throws it away and just keeps walking forward. You guys are about 40 feet away from Lara as they are currently advancing upon you. Sephel, you are about 200 feet back. You're a good ways away. Behind you, it's about another 50 feet to the door. Okay. So for you guys, 250 feet to the exit. Lara is within 40 feet. The Deep King is within 60. Themershoud is within 70. All right. First up in the order is Indigo.
Alright, so let's make sure I got this straight here. I got a dragon, a Deep King, and Lara, all relatively close to me.
Yes.
And I have good old Scylla advancing towards me, and behind her, I see Sue, and behind Sue, I can see Sephel.
Yeah, Scylla and Sue are like, if we were looking at the grid right now, would be within the 5-foot squares right next to you. Okay. And then Sephel is about 200 feet back.
Gotcha. Cool. And am I in square contact in melee with anyone besides Sue and Scylla?
No. Lara is 40 feet away, and they are the closest opposition to you.
Cool. I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Hey guys, what's up? I got this. I got this.
I was gonna say, wow, all right.
Lara. Do you remember?
They don't say anything. You just see this look of pure hatred upon their face.
Indigo, I don't think she remembers.
That's not great.
I would like to give the bag of holding to Scylla.
I accept.
Okay. I'll say that was a bonus action.
And I'll wink. Say, there's some good stuff in there.
Oh, okay.
The full list of what's in there is still in the players' chat in the Discord.
Okay.
As well as some gems.
That too.
Yep, gems and gold and an egg.
And I'm gonna take just one step forward, like move. I'm gonna move over 2 steps, make the 5 feet. And I'm gonna open up my arms.
Lara, it's me. It's Indigo. Lara.
Is that your whole turn?
That is my turn.
Okay. Scylla, you are up.
Oh, jeez. My 13?
Yeah, dude, everybody rolled low.
Alright. So she's 40 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
And the Deep King
is closer?
The Deep King is 60 feet away, and
Oh, okay.
Fembershout is 70 feet away.
Okay. I would like to pull out. I want to pull out my 4 speed, and ready an action to throw it at Lara if she is aggressive in any way.
Okay, I can just tell you right now, she seems aggressive.
Okay, when she attacks, how's that?
Okay, so you're gonna wait till she gets up on you and potentially attacks before you do anything?
Well, I mean, Indigo's pretty convinced here.
Okay, all right. Hey,
I think
you
she's
never-
gonna trust that Indigo has like a thought. Maybe if she gets her, I'll say if she gets within 10 feet.
Okay, sure. Sounds good.
And she'll yell out, I don't know you, Lara, but I will have to defend us. Indigo does not want to, but I will not show such restraint. And she's like aiming, like she's ready.
Okay. Lara's head flicks towards you and just kind of sneers and then looks back to Indigo. And it's now Lara's turn. And she proceeds to stalk forward and does get within 10 feet of Indigo. Are you throwing?
Yeah.
Okay, throw that beat of force.
Okay. Dexterity saving throw.
All right.
DC 15, it says.
That is a fail because I roll a natural 5.
Okay. It's 10 force damage. And it encloses the area for 1 minute. Any creature that failed to save is completely within the area is trapped inside the sphere.
Okay, so she's like in a cage right now.
Correct. And only breathable air can pass through the sphere's wall. We can't attack or do any other effects through the wall.
Okay, can
She can
people-
use her action. Yeah.
Can she talk?
Yes.
Okay, and there's no way for her to escape until this thing ends?
Enclosed creature can use its action to push against the sphere's wall, moving the sphere up to half their walking speed. But yeah, it's 1 minute. There's no way to get out.
Okay. So they are about 10 feet away from you, Indigo, and they are now captured within this bubble, essentially, which is cool. I totally forgot Beta Force did that.
Oh, wow.
However, they're looking at you, Indigo, and then they kind of, one finger comes up and beckons you forward. And that is the end of their turn. It is Sue's turn, and Sue starts pushing on you, Scylla, and is like, we have to go right now. We have to run. Indigo, we have to go. And she like quickly turns and actually takes like a pot shot at the Deep King and ratchets her her crossbow back, and let's see if she actually lands a strike on him. Yes, she does actually, and she does. And this is her initial attack, so she does 15 points of damage to the Deep King, and we see this bolt like hit through his cloak, and he's just and turns around, and we see like Fembershound's big head and neck swivel around to look down at him. And Sue starts running backwards. However, she does have her crossbow, like she's kind of looking back over her shoulder. She has it ready for anything if she needs to turn around and fire again. Sephel, you are up. You are 200 feet away.
I am just going to double move and try to meet up with them.
Okay, and your movement speed is 30, right?
I am going to use... if I use my action, I can't dash. Yeah, 30, and I'm gonna dash, so 60 towards them.
Okay, so you're about 40 feet away. Sue, with their movement speed of 25, is a little bit closer than that. Next up is the Deep Kings, and we see him start to like float up into the air, kind of meeting the same height as Themershoud. And we see his mace come out, and he draws his arming sword. And he goes, "You little lizard! You've been a thorn in my side for too long. I will end you here, and it will be the greatest death my hands have ever dealt." And he starts flying at him and starts swinging at their snout. First hit makes it, and he does. Let me just double check here. Yeah, okay. Oof, he does 12 points of damage on the first one, then he swings his sword around. Natural 20? Shit. Evershad's getting a little hurt. And that is 17 points of slashing damage. And then we see his form, the Deep King's form, just grow larger as he uses his enlarge person ability on himself. And now we see this floating large figure now in front of Themershoud. And it is Themershoud's turn, and he rears back his head, doesn't say anything, but just then starts throwing his flame in this wide arc against all the gold. It starts splashing everywhere. Some of it instantly liquefies, and it just creates kind of like this tidal wave that starts splashing over everything. Once again, I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw, except for Sephel, because you are a little farther back.
What if we're behind the sphere? Is the sphere between us?
Not enough.
Fair enough. Oof.
But nothing can get through the sphere, right? But air.
Correct.
Okay, so nothing happens to Lara. She just kind of watches as the coins and droplets of gold flip down. Sue is all right. What'd you get there, Indigo?
I got a 10.
Okay, you take 3 points of fire damage.
Yeah, I got a 5.
You take 1 point of fire damage. Can't quite get through that armor. And then we are back at the top of the order with you, Indigo.
Indigo, I don't...
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't know if this would interest you at all, but another little tidbit about the sphere is it can be picked up, and its magic causes it to only weigh 1 pound, regardless of the weight of the creatures inside. Should you want to pick up a sphere containing Lara. I don't know that you would want to do that, but just so you know that it is possible.
That does pique my interest. But in the moment, Indigo's gonna walk up slowly and just like place a hand against the outside of the sphere.
Lara's face just like bolts forward and like presses against this glass-like surface and snarls at you. But there's a brief moment where her black eyes return to their natural color. And Sam, if you would do me the honors.
I'm sorry, Indigo, but run!
And her eyes very quickly shift into this black marble, and they just start screaming at you, Indigo. And you can see like they're bringing the sword up, and they're trying to break through as much as they can through this orb.
Indigo is like standing there, and like a single tear is like rolling down his cheek, and he like sighs and like hangs his head for a second. And then I'm gonna squat down, pick up the ball, and I'm gonna throw it at the Deep King.
Sick! Yes!
Okay, all right. Yeah, make an attack roll there. This would be Dex because you're throwing something.
This is what we call Lara Ball.
Yeah, and Sam, if you could say in Lara's voice, yeet.
Up in yacht.
Do I have proficiency with a hamster ball?
Do you have proficiency with improvised weapons?
Sure don't.
Then no.
All right. That's
Oh,
a
no,
14 then.
Lara isn't improvised. She's all skill.
So you throw it. You don't succeed in hitting and damaging the Deep King. However, she definitely starts flying in that direction and like bounces off one of the moving arms of Thembershout and just starts like spinning in a circle really fast. What are you doing with the rest of your turn there? You still have some movement.
Yeah, I'm gonna wipe the tear off my eye, and then I'm gonna turn around and look at Scylla.
We should go.
And I'm gonna
Wonderfully done. Let's go.
move the last 25 feet of my movement as fast as I can towards the door.
Okay. You start running. Scylla, it's your turn.
I'm going to. Indigo is only 25 feet for the exit, so I'm going to take the dodge action, but run my full 30 feet to keep pace with Indigo.
Okay. Next up is Lara's, who just continues to spin, though she's trying to steady herself as much as possible within the orb. Sue continues to run with you guys, looking backwards. Sephel, it's your turn. You see your companions starting to run towards you.
Okay, I know this is theater of the mind, so this is getting a little chunky, but how far away is the closest ally to me?
I would say at this point about 100 feet from you.
Okay.
Double movement, it would be Sue. Sue's like 80 feet away now, actually.
Okay. And how far away am I from the door at this point?
You ran forward. It was about 50 feet away from you, so you moved double
I moved
movement, so
60, so 110?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the full radius of this is technically 180 feet of visible range. And I'll explain further.
Okay.
So
There's a lot of math.
No, so basically what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to step 10 feet closer to the door. I'm going to see that everybody's turning and running. Things are getting complicated. It looks like we're trying to book. I'm going to go 10 feet back towards the door. Sue is now 90 feet away from me. The door is 100. I am going to cast Vortex Warp on Sue.
Okay.
The range is 90 feet.
Yes.
So she is 90 feet away from me. I'm going to cast it on her. I can teleport her to a distance of that range that I can also see. So I can teleport her from 90 feet in front of me to 90 feet behind me towards the door. And that's what I'm going to do.
So she is now at the door.
Yep.
And she kind of like starts for a second, but she realizes what's happened, and she like gives you a salute and then like posts up at the door ready.
Yep.
Nice.
And I'm going to hold that position and do that for as many allies as I need to.
Okay. You're all proceeding to run.
Yeah.
Okay. Considering how you've incapacitated Lara, essentially, the Deep King's in his own fight with Thembershout, we're going to switch over to a little bit of narrative/exposition here. You're all running. We see Sephel, and this is almost like a war movie, like things are moving in slow motion, there's flame, there's gold flying everywhere, gems, pieces of armor, and weapons flying about from this giant treasure trove, and we just see Sephel like teleport, Scylla and Indigo, and do you teleport yourself?
I cannot.
You cannot. So you start running back. Go ahead and make a perception check for me, please.
Okay. Hell. I'm burning everything. So yeah, to keep myself honest, I would have used Vortex Warp on Indigo and Scylla as well, so that's 2 more second level spell slots. I can't use it on myself, so they're all at the door. I'm 90 feet back. I'm going to use a knowledge for an extra d6, which we all know is probably going to give me a 1. It's a 2.
Hey.
So 13.
Okay. It's enough. You, do you glance back over your shoulder at
Oh, of
all
course.
as you're running? Okay.
This is, so important thing for Sephel, and something that is definitely going to weigh on this encounter, is that this moment of him looking back and taking in whatever he does is going to be the only moment that he actually fully might get eyes on Lara.
Okay.
And that is important to him.
So as you're running away and you are looking back at this scene, you see the Deep King flying all over this cavern. Thimbershoud is moving, almost a constant spout of flame just following him, arcing all over. Gold is flying everywhere. Some of it has become so molten it's becoming almost like a river, and it's flying everywhere about. And as they are gliding back and forth, you see the sphere with Lara in it, and you see them desperately pushing and clawing at it, trying to like roll it forward after you. And as the scene continues and you're reaching the door, you hear her voice as everybody else has gone through. And she says, she's screaming, and you could barely make it out, but you hear it. She goes, "I, daughter of Grazit, will not stop until I hunt you all down." And that's where we'll end it today.
Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you again. You're one of our favorite listeners. You made it to the post show notes. Thank you so much for your support. Yes, new outro means new news. We started a Discord server. Yes, we wanted to create a space for our listeners to meet fellow fans of the show. It's a new community, so hop on in, say hi, we'll be there. You can find it by going to our Twitter page, and it's linked up at the top there. Our Linktree/The Madness Table has all of our links to all of our stuff. Speaking of which, if you haven't, please follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We try to, post some memes and other exciting stuff, especially on Twitter, so we would love the support there. We're also going to be launching a bonus action segment soon where we talk about the behind the scenes for the different chapters of our story. So please keep an eye out for those. And if you want to submit any questions for a future bonus action segment, please email us at themadnesstable@gmail.com. Lastly, please leave a review if you haven't. All the reviews do is they help us grow. It's a quick, easy, and free way to show your support. And we always appreciate that. So again, thank you so much for listening. We hope you're happy and healthy. We'll see you next week when